Hey everyone, welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'm talking to Grammy and Tony-nominated actor David Alan Grier about his new show, The Cool Kids. Executive produced by Charlie Day, the new Fox series follows a rowdy group of friends living in a retirement community who are committed to making the third act of their lives the craziest yet. Let's take a look. Put your hands together for David Alan Grier.
Wow. This has to be the most exciting crowd I've ever performed at.
They are so excited for you.
I can feel it.
I can feel the energy.
Absolutely. And I want to thank AOL for this special water you gave me backstage. It just hit me. It's beautiful. Yes.
Just wanted to warm you up on this little chilly day.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So The Cool Kids, I got to check out, and I love that it starts with a death. It's a comedy that starts with a death.
It's true. Well, old people, that's a lot. There's a lot of that. Matter of fact, you know, my mom, may she rest in peace, she died about a year and a half ago. Every phone call, do you remember Miss Mayfield? I'm like, Mom, what happened? You remember her, right? No, Mom, what happened? She lived down the street? No, Mom, what happened? You boys remember her son, Ronnie? Y'all used to play together? Mom, what happened? She died. Every phone call, yes, it's the roll call, you know.
This is a reality, though, when you get to that age. But that's why this show is so fun, because it kind of shows that aging is a state of mind in a lot of ways.
It is.
And you see these four people just acting up nonstop.
Old people get busy. They just do it slower.
Right.
They just do it slower. But there's a lot of foolishness going on, okay, at church, in these homes. They're getting busy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my grandma is in a retirement place, and the people like to act up in there all the time. Be in there hugging and kissing and stuff. And you're like, you're old.
But they use different terminology. They go, you know, that's grandma's friend. That's grandma's church friend. I'm like, what's going on with there's a lot of that.
So let's talk about your character, Hank.
He is a cranky, follically challenged, old-ass man. The good thing about playing this role is every bit of wardrobe, it feels like pajamas, because they've just given up. There's no pretense to being cute or sexy. It's all about comfort, you know. So he is that dude. He's cranky. And basically at the start of the series, he's the self-appointed head. Our ringleader has died, and, you know, Hank is just, he senses a power vacuum, and he just goes for it, so.
He takes his role very seriously.
It lasts about 4 minutes, and then Margaret comes in and shuts us all down.
Really quick, with your character, there's obviously a physical transformation that they do. So what is that process like every day?
Well, the first thing they do is they put this stuff around my eyes that crinkles them all up, put some liver spots, and then that half donut ring hair. And this is mine. But, you know, I posted a picture on, I think it was Instagram. The internet has no chill. They're like, what happened to you? Well, I guess we're getting older. Nobody is like, good luck on your show. It's like, what? You look old. Damn, you know.
I noticed that when I saw you, I was like, your skin is glowing. And I mean, I was like, I want to know what they do to you in that show. Because I was like, oh, maybe he is just aging.
Black don't crack.
It doesn't.
Okay? It does not. I'm 62, so this is what it looks like. I mean, you know.
It's working for you. It's
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I saw your character, the first person I thought of was Red Fox.
Oh, I love Red Fox.
Yeah.
It is. I told Vicki that. In a subtle way, I'm paying homage. I mean, to me, like when Sanford and Son was on when I was a kid, the funniest thing I ever heard anyone say on television is when Red Fox said, there is nothing uglier than a 90-year-old white woman. We laughed for months. You hear me? It was one of those moments as a kid. This is pre-cable. There was no, we had 3 channels. I'm like, how did he say that? It was just, it had me in stitches. So I love Red Fox. Yeah, I love
You're giving that a lot. I grew up watching that on Nick at Night.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh, yeah, he's just so like, he's a curmudgeon, but he's also lovable because he cares about the people around him, you know, and he's harder on them than he is on other people. But you know, it's coming out of love.
Yeah, he's a big baby. I mean, you know, he's talking a lot of shit, but you know, at the end, compliment for Hank would be, well, I guess that's what we get. You ain't got no other clothes. All right, well, You know, he's that dude.
Let's talk about Vicki Lawrence.
She's a legend. I mean, I grew
She's
up.
a legend.
Come on, man. I grew up watching her just like everybody else. I tried to be cool, so I didn't fan out until we were doing press and there was a break. I just couldn't help it. I started asking her about the Carol Burnett show and stuff. I never met her. I didn't know who she was or how she'd be. And she's wonderful. I mean, one of the things is, I guess, between all of us, well over 100 years in show business. So we trust each other. Any one of us can carry this ball, you know, and we know what we're doing, and that's really a comfort. So, and the chemistry was there, but you don't know. It's always a gamble. Really, I mean, my biggest emotion going into a new show is I hope these people are nice, because you really have to spend a lot of time with each other. Everybody's cool so far, you know.
And your chemistry reads. You can tell that you actually like each other because she's constantly antagonizing your character, but that would only work, I think, if you guys actually got along.
Yeah.
You know, because I can see, is there any improv in what you guys do? Is it all scripted?
Yeah, well, you know, our week starts on Monday. We do a network read. That's for the network, and then they give the writers notes. Then we start to rehearse. Usually it's a short day, depending on the notes they get from the network. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we pre-tape a certain number of scenes. So it's really Tuesday, Wednesday, where we rehearse full days, and that's when we start with our notes. Let me try this, let me try that. And then Thursday, Friday is our live audience. I always we all do, save alternative takes, lines, and that kind of stuff for Friday. And just between us, I'd never really tell them until Friday because you don't want them to shoot it down. That's a terrible idea. No, you don't want to do that. So I always save it, and then I just go, let me try this. That's awesome. Or I just throw it in there. And if it works, then they can't really deny it if people are laughing.
I would imagine that's the environment that I would expect with Charlie Day as an EP. Because of what they did with Sunny, it's sort of like inappropriate humor, but
well, it's edgy.
It's edgy, yeah.
One of the things that attracted me to the show was this is about old people, but it was created by Charlie Day, who's young, edgy, so hopefully that brings a different point of view. So also, I think there's a prejudicial view of old people, like they're all church going and, you know, loving. No, I'm telling you, all the foibles you had at 20 are more pronounced when you're 75. Because first of all, you think you're entitled, you made it this long, and can't nobody tell you shit. So it's worse. Yeah.
I mean, I see that a lot in my own life. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's like my mom, I can't tell them nothing, and I just don't
No.
even try anymore.
Oh yeah. I remember I was talking to my mom, and we were talking about politics, and I said, but that's as far as I got. You said, Republican? Were you going to say, I was like, no, I was going to say, really? You were going to say Republican. Do you vote Republican? Are you in a Republican? Get out of my house. I was like, Mom, you ain't even, I raised you. I know what you're thinking before you think it. I was like, damn. She was dead serious. I was really going to say really, but it never got out, so there's all that.
I found that you just really can't, you just let them talk at that point, and you just don't get to really say anything.
It's the same rules of improv are the same with talking with old dusty people. You just say yes and. Don't ask them, don't question them, I'm gonna give you an example. My mom lived to be 95 and a half, and at one point she set me up. She said, son, may I ask you something? I was like, yes, Mom, I love you so much. Now I want you to be honest, baby. I was like, always honest, what is up? Am I difficult? So I said, well, you are strong-willed, and her face dropped. And I was like, oh, shit, what the fuck? So she waited. We're in her living room. All of a sudden, she got up, and she said, I need to talk to you right now. She took me outside around the side of the house by the bushes near the barbecue, and she said, don't you ever use that tone of voice with me. Now get in the house.
I thought you said she was going to grab a switch. I was like, no.
Almost. I was like 5 years old again. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to go to bed. And I was through for the day, man. That's our parents. This is still breaking me down. Exactly. Yeah.
So we've got the cool kids, but there's also some other comedies out there like Grace and Frankie, and they're bringing back the Murphy Brown. Kind of, you know, comedies that are focusing on people of a certain age, and there's a real value to that. Why do you think we're seeing that trend more and more?
You want me to give you a real answer?
I want both.
First of all,
Yeah.
networks are about one thing, money, okay? So clearly this is a demographic that has been ignored and they see a potential in a successful show. That's number one. Number two is I think it clearly resonates with the audience. When we first started doing these promos, we were doing like cell phone, social media, and you know, Martin, who is 75, he was like, well, who they advertising to? Because I'm gonna tell you, my mother couldn't use a point and shoot phone. I was like, Mom, you have to take the lens cap off. You said point and shoot. I pointed and I shot. So, no, but they said our show is trending with much younger viewers, and so that's why we're doing it. So hopefully it's there. Funny is funny, and that's really what we're about, trying to get these laughs. I'm the same person. I'm just old and dusty now, that's all.
Like I said, the jokes are provocative, and I think that's why a younger audience,
Yes.
you know, that definitely pushes, and you're like, ooh, they're naughty, but it's
Listen,
good, it's fun.
old people say crazy shit. My dad, when he was in his 80s, he said, well, I'm going to Brazil, and I'm getting me the finest woman they got there. I don't care if I get AIDS. All I got is 10 years. I'm gonna die happy. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, have you read about this disease? I don't think that's how it's gonna happen. But I had to let it go. I was like, okay, good luck. I mean, yeah. He's
Like YOLO dad, I guess.
Exactly, good luck. Peace, dog. I'll see you when you get back. Yeah.
So, you've been in the industry for, what, 2 decades?
100 years.
150 years.
No, seriously, 35 and change
Yeah.
acting professionally. So that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
I can't believe it myself, man.
So now that you've had all that work behind you, what's maybe your biggest thing that you've learned about this industry?
I just told you it's about money. You can't take it personally. I mean, people, last show we did is Carmichael's, and it's just like this. You know, when people come at me online or on Twitter, IG, you know, why did the Carmichael's get canceled? It just gets canceled. It's like relations. Sometimes people just break up. There was not a conspiracy. It wasn't part of the Black Illuminati. It just, we didn't get canceled. I mean, on the flip side, I know, more importantly, myself as an artist. I know my process. I know, and I feel like I'm just at a point in my life as an actor where I can go anywhere emotionally and get there my way successfully. You know, when I was much younger, I had trouble, you know, well, how do I get to this emotional state? How can I be true as an actor, do this broad comedy, yet go to an emotional place? And I just feel like I know what I'm doing, finally. You know, not in an arrogant way, but just as anyone. I mean, if you've been doing anything for 30 years, I put in my 10,000 hours and I know who I am, you know, and I like that. And I like that about me. And so I feel like, I just feel blessed. I mean, at 62, if you'd have told me when I was 32 that, oh yeah, your shit's gonna blow up in about 30 years. I mean, to be productive and desired and still out here, man, listen, I ain't planning on dying. I got a lot more. I'm still grinding, and I love it. You know, I love it. So yeah.
And desired in different mediums. Obviously, you TV, but you've done theater,
Stand-up.
and you have movies coming out, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, but I've always, you know, I do stand up. I've written scripts. I produce shows. But my love, in my heart of hearts, if you ask me with a gun to your head, I'm an actor. That's what I've always wanted to do. I love to act, and I love the whole process, you know, of it. And that's where I'm at. I think the one thing that's changed about me is I feel finally that I have something to offer. I mean, for so many years, I felt like I was grinding, and I don't really have knowledge for a younger artist or performer, but now I know, I embrace that, you know what I'm saying? So if a younger comic or artist that I see, that I believe in, or just has their ears open, then, you know, I'll take time and try and mentor them, you know.
That's
really
fun
important.
Too. Did you have a lot of mentors?
But not you. Stop bothering me, please.
I just need you to reply to one email.
No! On your friend request. Stop.
I did just request you on Twitter, I think. So if
No,
you
you're
could just
good.
approve
You're
that, that'd
good.
be great.
Okay, I will. I'll work on that.
Did you have any mentors in acting or comedy that you really looked up to growing up?
Yeah, I mean, but not growing up. I mean, because to me, a mentor is someone who's really involved in your life. And a lot of times it's by, when I was at the drama school, at Yale, to do a entire production with James Earl Jones and just to sit at their feet and watch their entire process is a mentorship. When certain actors would just tell me, this is how I'm doing this in my life. That's a mentorship. It can be long or short. It's not like a 20-year commitment. Sometimes they don't even know. I mean, but advice and acknowledgement, a pat on the back. I see what you're doing and keep going. As artists, the process is always the same. When you come up with an idea, you're really excited, you create that idea, then at some point you have to give it over and show it to the world, and then accept that criticism. And when I say accept, that just means acknowledge. It doesn't mean they're right, but in particular in this business, it's daily. I mean, that is part of the process. Not everybody, garbage men, teachers, nobody reviews them. Seriously, like you were pretty good yesterday, brother, but your shoes were fucked up. That's a part of our existence, and you have to be strong. Hear it, but don't let it deter you. You have to be strong. You have to define yourself to others, and I'm still doing that. I just did like Annie at the Hollywood Bowl, and people were like, I didn't know David could sing. And I'm like, so that's what I mean, defining don't ever wait for somebody to tell you, oh, I think I know where you belong. No, you have to constantly restate the case. This is where I'm going. This is where I see myself. And that's how you get ahead. That's how you get the farthest, with that vision.
Looking back, what role do you think really defines you?
A couple. The last Broadway show I did was Porgy and Bess, playing Sport and Life. And it was one of these things, I knew that Audra McDonald was doing it. And that's the reason why I dropped everything and reached out to the director and said, I want to play this role. That's like inserting yourself into this conversation. That was pivotal because it's America's greatest opera. In my 30-something years, it's the only time in my professional career in which it was done on Broadway and in which I was in a place where I could do this role. So I knew that, and I really wanted to be a part of that production, and it worked out. So that every night was a joy. Every night I savored every minute of it. I texted and emailed every ex-girlfriend, I'm on Broadway. Yeah, I'm doing Porgy and Bess if you're in town. I don't know how you're doing. Well, bring your husband, shit. Right? It was one of those things where I just reveled in it, man. I reveled in it. There's that, but I also loved the Carmichael show and that character to play this half of this African-American couple that were still loving and actually, at least in my mind, they were still having sex, and they're alive, and but funny, and I loved the pathos of going from a broad comedy to literally in tears in the same scene, and it worked. So I thank Gerard many times for giving me this role, which I thought was an amazing role to play. Yeah.
I love those two examples because they're so different, but
yes.
It shows your versatility and why you've been able to have such a long career.
And as a young actor, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do everything as long as I can do it, and my interest was always that, to go from here to here to here. People really want to pigeonhole you. They go, oh yeah, you're just this. Or you're the news, you interview, you don't do anything else. I don't know you. Maybe you play cello, shit.
I don't play the cello.
Wow. Well, okay, I can dream then. But you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm all about that, man. Go get it. Come on. Yeah, don't wait.
Well, I have more questions for you, but I know our audience also does, so let's go to them really quick. Are you first? Yep.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
I've got to say, you don't look 62 at all. You look amazing.
It's the beard, man. It's this, my chin afro. Oh, go ahead.
You spoke about being a mentor, and I know that in movies...
Wait, I spoke about being what?
Being a mentor to young artists coming up.
Yes.
And I know that when you worked on The Sprinter, you were kind of a mentor to a lot of the cast there. And I was reading that at the Laugh Factory, you were mentor to Tiffany Haddish, who's now starring in a new movie with Kevin Hart.
Tiffany
School.
blew up.
Yeah.
And it's all because of me, okay, really. But
You heard it here first.
But the backstory is, Tiffany would follow me around on Carmichael and say, David, you don't even remember. You're my comedy teacher, David. And I was like, okay, Tiffany, I remember. No, you don't. You didn't give me no positive reinforcement. I was like, yes, I did. Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, Tiffany's deep. Tiffany's deep. You don't mentor her. You try to keep up with her. So, yeah, she was, but listen, man, that's what I'm talking about. Putting it out in the universe and actualizing your dream. At the top, at the beginning of the Carmichael Show, Tiffany had her book. She had her special. And she damn near cast herself in Girls Trip, okay? So I saw, and this is a period when she was going, David, I want to open for you, okay? Why don't you ever take me on the road with you, David? So I saw the trailer for Girls Trip, and I was like, Tiffany, trust me, in 60 days, can you wait? In 60 days, I'm gonna be opening for you. Just trust me, this is what's gonna happen. And that's what happened. I mean, we all witnessed it, but it was not overnight. Tiffany's been grinding for 15 years, longer than that. So, to the public, it's like, oh, where did this young guy or this young girl come from? No, it's hard work. She put in all that work. So that's what it really takes. Yeah, that's what it takes. It's not from nowhere.
David.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hi. Thanks for sharing your talent and, being involved in the industry. And thanks for wearing the beard today. You make my dad look way younger than he already does.
Pops is looking good, right? You say, yeah, I'm young as hell. You what?
61.
Oh, you old as shit, man.
But my question was, being in the business for over 35 plus years, is there anything that you haven't done that you still want to do? I'll tell you what. I mean, I've done serious roles in movies, but that's something I desire right now. Yes, I would love a meaty, fucking dramatic role in a movie and just, as an actor, as any artist, you want to feel as if you have challenged and stretched and used all those muscles. I remember hearing Charles Lloyd, who's a jazz musician, tenor sax player. He said, when he was younger, he wanted to hit all the notes. The highest note, hold it the longest. And he said with age and maturity, he wants to hit the right note. So that's where I'm at, that's where I'm at. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes the subtlest character in a film that's only on 5 or 10 minutes moves me to my core. So I want to do roles that count, not necessarily talk the most, So that's where I'm at, like that.
I think that's so important to say. That made me think of like Viola Davis in Doubt. She was only in it for a minute, but it was just like, oh.
She killed it, man.
So
her face, her presence, so heavy. She really didn't have to say shit. She came on. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's just that's artistry. Beautiful. Yeah.
And last question.
Hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Phoenix.
How you doing?
You kind of partially answered my question already, but I was going to say, with this longevity you've had in your career, what do you think has changed about the art of acting, and what do you think has stayed the same? Sorry.
Well, the art of acting hasn't changed, but the voices are. I love this younger generation, artists of color and stand-up, and Issa Rae, I love her. There's a whole school, Amanda Seales, I love, who have their voice and are claiming it and putting it out there and taking control and Two Dope Queens. And, you know, I'm a fan of all that, man, of all those people. I don't get everything. Nobody gets everything. But when I do, I try to reach out and just give them a little love, you know. I mean, sometimes that's all it is. I see you. You know, I'm watching you. I like what you're doing, you know, that kind of stuff. So I try to do what I can. That hasn't changed. I mean, I think the real is the mechanism. You know, when I first started acting, you paid a person to put your name in a catalog. It was called the Player's Guide, and this is what all the casting directors did. So in other words, you paid someone else to define and categorize you. And now, you know, when Prince put his album out on the internet, everybody was like, poor Prince. It's so sad he doesn't have a record deal. But now you have the power to create your own website. You have your own voice on Twitter, on IG, on a bunch of different platforms to define yourself and put yourself out to the world. Doesn't mean 5 million people are going to do it, but at least you have your original, unedited voice, you understand, unabridged, and that's different, okay, that's different. There's people power now, so it wasn't like that before.
Yeah, Issa Rae started with a web series.
Yeah.
And now she got a HBO
Killing
show.
it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Anything's
I love it.
possible.
Yes, it is, it is, it is.
Well, David, it was my honor to chat with you today. I
It
really
was
have
fun.
followed every single thing you've done. So
Everything?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
it.
apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I forgive you. If you guys want to check out The Cool Kids, it premieres tonight, right? On
Yes,
Fox at
yes.
8:30, 7:30 Central. Give it up for David Alan Grier.